If you're listening to this, you have made it to Super Moonday Monday. Welcome back, and this is now episode 0. Starting this podcast over, overcame some difficulties as of late. Nothing terribly egregious, but more so given the election cycle and how that will be having a huge effect on the upcoming budget for NASA, future endeavors into space, private contracts, as well as even a ripple effect on the world, including ESA, Roscos. So we'll definitely see where it goes. Not to forget about the Chinese Space Agency, as well as the Indian space companies. And by space companies, I also mean their national government organization. So, given this podcast is starting over, it's not just going to be, me starting from zero and telling you, here's more space news as usual. I've been talking around, and you know what? We're going to have some guests on here. Got a science advisor. I know, shocking. People will actually be checking the madness that I'm talking out to you all. So we're going to have advisors, and these aren't just advisors that are like, oh yeah, I love space, which is, they do, trust me. But they're also involved in various companies, and I'm not going to say anything just as of yet until, things are solidified. Talk to somebody about Team Indus and getting a possible interview with them, possible interview with an engineer from NASA. And no, that's not a funny acronym. No, literally the NASA. Definitely would love to sit down, and planning on sitting down with some local astronomy unions, or societies, not unions. Would love it, an astronomy union. Alright, something to go on my to-do list. And also, going to be fishing out questions from you all, because that's what really matters. I want to talk about what is on your mind, because I have a lot of things on my mind in regards to space and the advancement of science, but I also want to know, what are you thinking about? And I also want to talk about those things that you think about. If, they're related. If you say, I don't know, what if Trump decides to shut down NASA and replace it with My Little Pony, or something like of that level of madness? I might be able to fit that in. I don't know. Okay, either way, just throw out your questions and we'll go from there. And so, Supermoon is today, and this is the biggest that the moon has come, or as I like to call her, Lady Selene, has come to Earth. So this is going to be the biggest supermoon since 1948. Actually, to be exact, January 26, 1948 is when it was this close. And on that day, they executed Executive Order 66. Oh, I'm reading that upside down. I'm sorry. Executive Order 9981. Okay, I was close. Except this order actually allowed for desegregation within the armed forces. Okay, so I guess it's like the opposite of Order 66, which is probably why it's upside down. Anywho, so that's one of the big events from that era. Around that same time, the Soviet Union began jamming broadcasts of America that were anti-communist and anything that was non-Soviet Union that they were broadcasting to communist-controlled areas. So, kind of interesting, we're coming back to that time with not only a supermoon, but also when we're getting jammed. Well, we're not getting jammed. Hacking isn't exactly the same as jamming, but And I'm going to end this note really briefly on the election. I'm out here in San Francisco, or San Francisco, however you want to call it. I think it's a great city. It can be great, at least. And I've noticed quite a few people are down. Like, as I'm at work, people are just like, I don't want to say they're like terrified per se, but they definitely aren't in those bright spirits they once were. riding down, biking home to and from work, I see people hugging and crying. I'm just like, wow. And I'm really trying to give the benefit of the doubt and thinking maybe, they're crying because Game of Thrones got canceled or something, or Game of Thrones is just going down the crapper. So I'm hoping it's related to that, but I'm a bit more, yeah, it's not about that, sadly. A lot of people definitely are affected by the election, but I will say this to my listeners. Regardless of who comes into power, not even we, you have to keep going. Regardless of what happens, whether or not the Electoral College actually votes him in their election in December, you have to keep going, because the little things, the citizen scientists like you that are interested in science, even in just something like the SETI at Home app, having running calculations for the SETI lab on your phone to free up their computers to do other tasks, that alone can help out a lot. So don't be afraid, I mean, it's okay to be afraid and whatnot, but at the same time, keep moving forward. We've overcome McCarthyism, we've overcome the Cold War, we've overcome the Civil War, we've overcome World War II, we've overcome Jim Crow, we've overcome a lot of bad things, and we've gotten a lot of good things. We may lose some good things over the next 4 years depending on how it goes, but don't think that mean we cannot gain a lot of good things. And when I say we, I'm not speaking as a Democrat, because I'm not a registered Democrat, I'm not a registered Republican. When I say we, I mean literally we Homo sapiens. All humans, whether you're listening here in San Francisco, or you're over down in Florida, or heck, even if you're one of my listeners in Japan, like I have like one listener out there according to the data. Either way, I mean you as a human being. Move forward. I don't care what color you pick every 4 years, as long as you keep moving forward, having your mind open, and making things awesome. That's all that matters. I don't care how you vote. I don't care about your ideologies, as long as you're moving forward and bringing humanity with you. And you get out there and go look at the moon tonight, okay? Because it's going to be huge, or huge. I'm just going to probably pick another word. Big? Large? Super? Yeah, it's a super moon tonight. There we go. That was easy. So get out there, get a look at the moon. It's gorgeous. And I hope you have a gorgeous day as well. Oh, damn it. Oh, it won't stop recording.